I don't know, this is why relationships are always so difficult for me, because you don't know how you're supposed to behave, and people are like, yeah, just be yourself, but it hasn't been working so far. I'm really happy because when I do open up, then this person rejects me, or he doesn't understand, or he doesn't make the effort at least to understand me. It can create some kind of trauma for future relationships. Ah! Okay, maybe that's gonna be the thumbnail. Let's see. But yeah, today I decided that it's gonna be mukbang. I don't know how it's called. Basically, I wanna eat. I don't have a lot of time. I need to eat and I need to film a video. So why not combining both? It's gonna be a bit of a mess, but it's gonna be fun. I'll promise. And I even have a list of topics that I want to talk about because this is usually a mess. So yeah, we're trying to bring professionalism, if that's how you pronounce the word. But yeah, the first topic I want to talk about is the qualities that I want my future husband to have. And I know it's already a bit problematic because you cannot choose like everything about the people you're dating or you want your husband to be. But I think it's important to have some stuff in mind. So when you meet people, you have at least the core values. It doesn't need to meet every criteria, but at least the most important things. And I'm trying not to be really superficial about it because I realized that I am surprised, but it's not that important because, of course, we are attracted to people, to the physical things about someone, but that's not everything, and it sucks that especially gay people, we are so superficial. I want to fight that. And for example, I made like a promise kind of to myself saying that I wouldn't talk about specific people, but here we go, because right now I'm meeting this really nice person. Hopefully you don't see this, click off if you are seeing this, but I think it's going great. I think it's going great in the sense that, so it's going so great that I'm getting a bit scared, because when things are getting serious, I'm scared. So I think it's a human being thing that we like to complain when things don't go the way that we want, but then when they are starting to go the way that we want, when things are getting more serious, I don't want to say complicated, just more real, shit's getting real, then it gets scary because you're like, oh my god, I wanted something, it's about to come to fruition, so I'm afraid to fuck it up. I'm afraid for the other person to reveal some stuff that I didn't know and that I don't agree with. It's just scary. I don't know why, but I need to fight this toxic mentality because there's no reason why this would be going wrong. I cut my hair myself yesterday. I don't know if I like it, but there's not much I can do. So yes, I think it's good that I'm getting a bit scared because it means that it's getting serious and it's something that I wanted. So in that sense, it's a positive thing. But again, it is scary because I'm getting into unknown territory, if that makes sense, because usually I just had one long-term relationship, maybe 1.5, but with all the other dates, when I've been meeting people, I always say that the third date, it's key. It's really, really important for a lot of reasons, but mostly because you are getting to know the real person on the third date. I don't know if this is working, if the eating and talking, but we're gonna try. I'm going on a run. Let's go back to the qualities I want in a person. I'm realizing in this person that I'm seeing right now that there's qualities that I never thought I would like in someone, or at least I didn't know that it was a priority, and now they are a priority. Because on the second date, it went great, and I'm not going into the specifics. It's just a me thing. When we said goodbye, I was overthinking about something that I said. He didn't do anything wrong. I said something, and then I was overthinking about it. And when I said it, it was almost the time to say goodbye. So we hugged, and he left, and I stayed in the metro, and I went to my place. So I said something. I didn't know how he felt about it, and we just said goodbye. Nothing bad happens. Again, it's a me problem. But then I was overthinking about it quite a lot. And the good thing about getting older, getting wiser, if you will, is that you are not afraid to talk about stuff. Like, for example, in the past, if something was worrying me about someone, it had to be quite serious in order for me to tell that person. So I would just bottle everything up. I would not say a thing, and then eventually, I guess, when the other person would do more things that I didn't like, then everything would just explode, and it's not healthy. It's not the way to do it. If you're in a relationship, you like the other person, and you should feel safe, you should feel comfortable to talk about maybe not absolutely everything, but almost everything. But again, we are on the second date. I hate it because when people say that gays are intense, I'm like, no, that's not true. Like, it's just, we're just people. Like, we feel things, but we are not that extreme. We are not more sensitive than straight people or than other people. But I think we are, because I went on 2 dates with someone, and I'm already talking like we've been meeting for 6 months. So yeah, I was overthinking about something. We said goodbye. I left. And then instead of overthinking even more about it, I decided to text him about it, which I think is really mature from my part. Because even if it was something important, even if it was not important, it was important to me at the moment, so I felt like sharing it. And then I was a bit scared to see his reply. But then when he replied, he was like, yeah, no worries about it. Like, all is good. Thanks for sharing. Something like that. Maybe not thanks for sharing. But he was like, yeah, no worries. We're cool. And it's sometimes in life, this is what my therapist keeps telling me, that most of the problems in life is just communication. Because one person perceives information in some way, you thought you said it in a different way in your head. Like, the information you have in your head, let's say it's 100% clear, but then when you're trying to explain it, it's almost impossible to explain it in a way that it's exactly as you think, and it's even more difficult for the other person to understand this information in the same way that you are processing and understanding everything. Basically, communicating, it's tricky sometimes. And my therapist says that sometimes if I'm overthinking about something and it's related to someone that I trust, like family, friends and stuff, let's just talk about it. I don't want to be the annoying person talking about absolutely everything that bothers me. But if it's something important, or if you're trying to build a relationship, a new relationship in this case, with someone that you are meeting, so why not be open about it? I don't want to be like this every time we meet. But in that case, something was bothering me. I thought I would explain, and he was like, yeah, everything is cool, so I don't need to worry about it anymore, which is great. And this is the fun thing, I guess, about mature relationships, or relationships when you are older, because in my 20s I was, of course, I was a young adult, I guess, but there's a lot of things that I'm learning recently about relationships that I didn't know back then. And I was not the smartest when it came to relationships. And I was not communicating a lot of the things that were bothering me. So when I was seeing something on someone that I didn't vibe with, I'm like, okay, next. Instead of talking about it, instead of communicating, I would be like, okay, I don't want to see you anymore. Let's go to the next. And this is not a healthy approach. But yeah, I'm really proud of myself for communicating what bothers me, or what I was overthinking about. And yeah, I was saying this because one of the things that I want my future husband to have is to be understanding, because sometimes I overthink a lot, so I need someone that has the patience, I guess, to. I don't think I have bad intentions, but sometimes I do overthink about the stupidest things, and I have the need to explain it, to communicate. So the other person needs to be understanding. And related to this, the other person also needs to keep it real. Like if I'm saying something, even if it's important to me, if it's really stupid, I want the other person to let me know. Of course, in a nice way, but if it sounds like bullshit what I'm saying, I want the other person to be real. I don't want yes man. I don't want a yes boyfriend saying yes to absolutely everything I say. I want him to keep me in check. Like if there's something I'm saying or I'm doing that it's not right for some reason, I want him to let me know, because of course we're not perfect and we're always improving. So my boyfriend, my future partner, needs to have this quality. Needs to don't be afraid to tell me what I'm doing wrong, or what he thinks I'm doing wrong. It doesn't mean that it's wrong entirely. I also want my boyfriend to listen, and you're gonna be like, no shit, of course the other person needs to listen. But I don't think I don't think a lot of people have this quality. I'm sorry. When I'm from Spain, and in Spain we talk over absolutely everyone, which is nice, I guess, because it keeps conversation entertaining and engaging. But now I'm living in Finland, where everyone is more chill, is more relaxed. So if I'm having a conversation with someone, they will give me the space to talk, and they even like a little bit of silence in conversations, and I'm getting used to that. But being from Spain, sometimes it's a little bit weird. What I'm trying to say is that in dates, I don't want people to keep interrupting me. Of course, at times, if it happens, it happens. But I really enjoy when people give me the space to explain something, especially when I'm starting a rant, or when I'm starting a specific story. Let's say we're having a conversation, we just change from topic to topic. It's fine to interrupt each other, I think, in my opinion. But if my partner is asking me to explain something, or if I'm like, oh, this happened at work, I would like to tell you about it. So I want to tell a story. I want the space to tell a story, and of course the other person can make comments, can make questions and everything, but I want to have the space to explain it however I feel. And this sounds a bit silly when I say it out loud, but with some people it's almost impossible to tell longer stories, because we always keep changing topics, and I do like it. Again, I'm from Spain, and I do enjoy when the conversation is all around the place. But with this guy that I'm seeing right now, I said I want to explain something, and he gave me the space to do so, and it felt great, and I really liked it. So these are some of the qualities I like on someone. I want the other person as well to take care of themselves. I don't want them to go to the gym every day. It would be nice if the other person goes to the gym, but taking care of himself, meaning that he does some kind of exercise, he takes care of, how he presents himself. I'm not saying you need to be on point 100% every day, but put a little bit of effort on your clothes, on your face, on your hair. You shouldn't go to the gym, but do some kind of exercise on a regular basis. That's really important. And before I was guilty, before I felt bad for saying these kind of things, because I do go a lot to the gym and I walk and I run and I do really like exercise. And if I really like it, it's an important part of my life. I think it's fair to be with someone that also likes this and is passionate in a way about it. Again, I'm not talking about being really muscly and going to the gym every day, but just doing something, some exercise and taking care of yourself. Again, I think that's really, really important. And maybe the last thing, to not make it really, really long, I want the other person to be nice. And again, this sounds so dumb, so stupid. Of course, everyone wants to be with nice people, but maybe it's not that obvious, because I've seen other relationships. I've been with people who are themselves, I guess. And for me, the biggest red flag is when you go to a restaurant, a bar, whatever, and the person is not nice to the bartender, to the waitress, whatever, because that says a lot about someone. For some people, if you go to a restaurant, you are superior in a way to the waitress, to the people working there, just because you're paying. I'm not saying they are rude, but they are also not nice. But this is the biggest red flag, when you are not nice to people that work with customers. Let's say bars, let's say stores, let's say restaurant, let's say clubs, let's say whatever. Those people go through a lot, because people are so mean sometimes. So we need to be nice to these people, even if they are not the nicest to us. We need to be nice to them, because they are heroes almost. So when my date is not being nice to the waitress, to the people working in a store, whatever, that's my biggest ick. Because it doesn't mean that you're a mean person, but it does to me. I don't like it. You need to be nice to absolutely everyone, especially people working with customers. Those are the qualities I want in my new person. I guess there's more, but for now, this is it. And I will leave what you get from me, like what my partner will get from me, for another video, because this is also really interesting. And I was also thinking about what I was talking at the beginning of the video. It's scary when you like someone and when you feel like the other person likes you, when you are both looking for something really similar. I'm not eating shit. This mukbang situation is not working. I hate it. Because if I'm eating, I cannot talk, so this is pointless. I don't know how people, Trisha Peiras, I don't know how these people do it. But yeah, I was saying that it is scary when it's becoming real, like a serious relationship. Also because I'm not that used to being vulnerable with someone. With some of my friends, yes. With family, not really. It's not that I'm scared of being vulnerable, it's just that I don't open up easily, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Again, with some friends, yes, but it takes a while for me to open up. But when I'm with someone, at least how I understand relationships, if I have a boyfriend, I want to be able to open up and to be vulnerable. But that scary as fuck because I'm not used to that, and it is scary because usually I consider myself quite a strong person with attitude. If I want something, I will get it. You can have both, of course. It doesn't mean that if you have this go-to attitude, like this bad bitch attitude, you shouldn't be vulnerable. But I guess maybe, I don't know, in movies, TV, society, you've seen what you've seen your whole life, it's one or the other. But everyone has both, and it's really beautiful to be able to share both, because even if I work really hard and I get my shit done, I also have my moments, and I want to be able to open up and to be vulnerable to someone, especially to my boyfriend, to the person that I'm with. But it is scary, and lately I've been going through some stuff with family and with friends. And on the other date with this guy, we were talking about family, and some stuff has happened with my family recently that I don't know if I want to talk about with people that I'm not sure if they're gonna be with me for the long run. But of course, if I'm looking for a serious relationship, and if I like this guy, and if this guy likes me, I should be able to open up. Maybe it's just because it was a second date, so it was a bit too early, I don't know. But yeah, it made me think that on the second date, when he asked about my family, I said some stuff, and I'm like, maybe we can leave this topic for the next date, because right now I don't feel comfortable talking about it. I said it really nicely. I didn't shut off. I didn't stop the conversation right there. I was nice about it. But yeah, I guess eventually I will have to talk about it. And it is stressing me out a little bit because of this vulnerability aspect that I'm not used to it. I would like to be used to it a little bit more, but right now I'm not. And yeah, it's just scary because in my case, I don't open up to a ton of people. I do to some, but not to a lot. So if when I do open up, then this person rejects me, or he doesn't understand, or he doesn't make the effort at least to understand me, it can create some kind of trauma for future relationships. This is why relationships are so complicated, because you are pouring yourself, you are opening up to someone, expecting for the other person to accept you and to understand you and to listen and everything, and you want to do the same for the other person, of course. But what if it doesn't work? What if when you're starting to be truly yourself and to open up, the other person is like, oh hell no, now I don't like it, I want to keep it superficial, just the fun of it. Maybe before opening up, it's wise to have a conversation like, what are you looking for in this thing that we have going on? If the other person doesn't want anything serious, maybe you just don't open up, or you do it knowing that the other person is not looking for the same. Maybe before being vulnerable or too vulnerable, I need to have a conversation with this person and be like, so what is this? But maybe it's also too soon. I don't know. This is why relationships are always so difficult for me, because you don't know how you're supposed to behave, and people are like, yeah, just be yourself. But it hasn't been working so far. I'm really happy of the way I am and the friendships that I have, the relationships that I have. But when it comes to boyfriend, when it comes to this kind of relationships, I haven't been the best at it. And of course, it would be really easy to just say the other person has been doing the wrong things. But a relationship is it's a thing that involves two different people. So of course, I also have done some stuff that might have been not that nice. But yeah, I don't know. Relationships are scary, and even talking about it, it makes me sad because you don't know what's gonna happen, but you're gonna be on that vulnerable state, so you're gonna be hurt a little bit. I just dropped this clip in my yogurt. Disgusting. It's okay. I don't know. Now I'm sad because I'm having another date this Wednesday, and I was thinking about opening up about some topics, but maybe, like I said before, I need to discuss what's in his mind. I need to share what's in mine. What do I expect from this relationship? I need to know where his brain is at, where his mind's. I don't think I'm making any sense, so I'm gonna stop. I think I have a couple more topics, but maybe for the next one. But yeah, thank you for watching. See you on the next one.